Rooted in community. Basically, it's about youth empowerment, and it's about growing your own food and understanding why local foods are important, why growing food is important. And so the conference is a time for youth from all these different organizations from around the United States to get together and share their knowledge. So youth help plan the conference, and during the conference, youth tend to be the leaders. So all the workshops at the conference are led by youth from these organizations. And it's really about them sharing their knowledge with each other, so they can feel connected to this broader movement that exists. Because when you're in your own community, sometimes you feel small, and you're like, oh, why is the work I'm doing? How does that make a difference? And so RIC is about showing the greater difference that if everyone's doing this in their own community, then we are together making a big difference around the nation.
Hi everybody, my name is Sakina. I'm 60 years old. I'm a fourth-year intern at the Eastern Farms Project, all day, every day, Brooklyn, New York. Yeah. I'm glad to be here because I've never been to Maine. And meeting new people is what I like to do best.
There are 3 organizations that were organizing the 2009 conference. The Food Project, which is based in Massachusetts. Cultivating Community, which is based in Portland, Maine, and Lots to Gardens, where I work, which is based in Lewiston.
Buildings could be mountaintops, and no, I can't stand parking lots. The garden in my backyard will keep me feeling fine. Yeah, who needs bullfrogs when you got science? Who needs nature when you got science? Who needs stars when you got street lights? Who needs bare feet when you got feet like a rubber callus? Yeah, who needs forests when you got front lawns? Who needs stories and fireside camp songs? Who needs moonlight?
We tried to give youth a lot of varied opportunities. Part of it was about building their education, and part of it was just seeing what other organizations do and sort of being involved in those communities and trying to make an impact in the communities where the conference was held.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
My name is Donna.
I'm Daron.
And you and Nelly are on this one.
You gotta get back to that. Come on,
Four gardens and a couple little beds all around this place. Yeah, and so this right here is called the Children's Garden. And so kids come, and that's like the garden where kids come and they can help out and they can help garden, and then we harvest at the end of the summer, and then they have harvest dinners, and it starts next week.
And we make healthy foods using things from the garden, and we do a lot of whole grain things, lots of fun, good recipes, and the kids love it.
So we have 5 different garden sites that youth were at that day, and then some youth were actually cooking lunch for the whole group in the kitchen here at the Nutrition Center. One site learned about lasagna gardening, which is a gardening practice used to repress weeds and sort of build soil nutrients. One group focused on planting blueberries, so they got to learn a little bit about that and sort of how to maintain those crops. One group went out to Hillview, which is a housing complex that we work at and where Lots to Gardens started. And there at Hillview there were multiple groups, but basically there we planted crops for the fall that we're harvesting now. And they also helped mulch community gardener beds. Some people got to learn how to make jams. Some people got to learn how to make sort of window boxes for growing plants. Youth-led workshops on all sorts of things, topsy-turvy tomato planters, on sort of the importance of diversity and why oppression sucks. When the day at Turkey Hill Farm, kids got to move pigs around and work with farm animals. Screen printing, one on youth radio, and then actually following the conference later that week, some of the pieces from the youth radio workshop were broadcasted on the air. And then in addition to that, everyone either cooked or cleaned for at least one meal at the conference. Growing your own food and having this local focus is also changing the environment in a really positive way. The more people who grow their own food or who shop at their local farmers market, that's the less CO2s that are being emitted, and it happens to have a really positive effect on the environment. I think that that's an outcome, though. I don't think that's the reason any of us are doing it.
What did you expect of the conference?
That would have been like one of those like Star Wars conventions, except for the veggie heads, you know, and hippies. But it's much different because there's like kids my age, and there's regular people here.
I think the work we do is about the youth that we work with, and giving youth opportunities to be leaders, to be engaged in their communities, to be respected, to have their voices heard. I think that that benefits community in so many different ways, but really what it's doing is creating groups of people who know that they can make a difference and who will be leaders into their adult lives and who will care. And I think that's really what all of this is about. Whether or not our youth continue to grow their own food is not nearly as important as whether or not they continue to speak out when they see things that need to be worked on and fixed in their community.
Buildings could be mountains.